Hello and welcome to week 3 of the 2014 Red Light Truck Series winter season, airing on RLN. I'm your host, Jeremy Patterson. Matt couldn't make it tonight, so I'll be flying solo and doing my best to keep up with what's happening on the track. Tonight we bring you live coverage from the Auto Club Speedway in California, where the boys will be racing for 60 laps on this 2-mile tri-oval. After tonight, we'll be taking a week off for the Christmas holidays, and we'll return on the 29th for some short track racing at Iowa Speedway, which is sure to be an exciting race. Here's your top 10 in season points. Remember, we do have a drop week. We've had 3 races so far, and these points reflect the best 2 races for each one of these drivers, giving them 1 drop week. Dustin Lee leads the points with 46, followed close behind by Joshua Buckley and Jacob Fife. William Kirk, Damon Gilbert, Tommy Lee, Robert Craze, John Fershing Jr., Joshua Butler, and Jamie Christensen round out the top 10. And it looks like they just finished qualifying. John Fershing Jr. takes pole with a 40.277 seconds. So drivers will get in their cars, get gridded up, and we'll be ready to go here any moment. We have 17 drivers in the field tonight. And you see the drivers there lining up on pit road. This is a 2-mile track, so a little bit bigger than your standard oval. I was talking to the drivers a little bit before the race, and apparently the setup was a little bit tight as of yesterday, and then iRacing came along and did an update today, and now it loosened the truck up quite a bit, so these drivers will have their hands full trying to get around that track and not slip up. And once we get rolling here, we'll go through the grid and read off every driver's name, so you can see who you'll be watching tonight. So far this season, we've had some really good racing. Daytona the first week and Atlanta last week, and I'm really looking forward to seeing this race. Alright, I see the yellow flag has gone up. That means the pace car is about to start rolling here any second. Alright, so let's run through the field here. In row 1, we have John Fershing and Jacob Fife. Row 2, Keith Haney and Sean Butler. Row 3, Dustin Lee and William Kirk. Row 4, Jamie Christensen and Joshua Buckley. Row 5, we have Glenn Sidman and Nate LaFleur. Row 6, Michael Fair and Dustin Phillips. And row 7, we have Robert Craze and James Haney. Row 8, Aaron Gabron and Tim Lewis. And rounding out your field is the 99 at Joshua Butler, and I don't see him on the track, so he might not actually be racing. It looks like Tim's in the far back. Pace car is off, and we are ready to go green flag racing. John Fershing Jr. and Keith Haney battling for that first position. Looks like Fershing is going to pull out in front. And we have 2x2 action right behind him with 51 of Dustin Lee and the 87 of Keith Haney. Keith has fallen back a little bit. Right behind them, you have the 88 of Sean Butler and the 36 of Jacob Fife, and right behind them is the 9 of William Kirk. So nice close pack up in the front here. Back behind them, we have Jamie Christensen and Joshua Buckley, followed close behind by Tim Lewis. Oh, and we got a spinner on the front stretch. Looks like he collected that up. And I believe that was the 9 of William Kirk. Let's go back and see what happened here. Looks like William just got a little bit of loose coming out of turn 4. Like we said before the race, these drivers were saying the track is nice and slick, so good job collecting that up, Dustin. I'm sorry, William, and keep right on moving. Still good, close racing all around. Pole setter John Fershing continues to lead the race. And we have a side-by-side battle for third with Dustin Lee and Jacob Fife. Jacob joined us just a few weeks ago, and he is a very strong driver. We are glad to have him with us and look forward to many races with him. Looks like Dustin is going to hang on to that third spot. Huge pack right behind him, too. Keith Haney leads that pack, and followed close behind by Jamie Christensen. Jamie also joined us just recently, and he is also a very strong driver. Drivers moving around. Keith Haney got a little loose. He gets down to the bottom. Oh no, they're crashing. Let's go back and have a look at this. Looked like Keith Haney got down on the inside, got a little bit loose, and that slowed him down, and the other trucks just got right into him. Right there, you see him get loose, collects it, but the other guys have so much momentum, and it looked like I don't think the 00 got into him, but you can see the 81 of Nate LaFleur did get into the back of him. That started a whole sequence of events. You see the 9 right there, William Kirk coming across. Wow, bad luck for these guys. So fortunately, they do have a quick reset. Each driver has 2 quick resets that they can use during the race. So these guys will go in, get new trucks, get repaired up, and get right back out there and keep it clean this time. So John Fershing continues to lead. He's led every lap so far this race. That was some good battling we had in those. We only had 5 laps, I think, but good battling. And as we said, this track is very loose. So I would not be surprised to see a couple other drivers kind of get a little bit squirrely before it's all over. Unfortunately, I know they don't want to, and we don't want to see it, but it's going to happen because it's a very loose track. So a couple drivers dive down on the pit road. Pershing and Lee stay out. See Sean Butler, Tim Lewis, both pitted. Drivers coming down pit road now. 87 to Keith Haney, he's getting repairs. And it looks like William Kirk just got his fast repair and pulled straight back out. I don't see any, doesn't look like he spent any time on pit road. Well, now the timer's saying that he did. That's, okay, so he's getting his tires right now. You can see him there on screen. All right, so 6 drivers stayed out. John Fershing, Dustin Lee, Jacob Fife, Joshua Buckley, Robert Craze, and Jamie Christensen all stayed out. And that was only 5 laps on those tires, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal. But we'll see how this plays out. So lights are still on the pace car. I think next time around the lights will go off and we'll be 1 lap to racing again. So all the drivers who pitted, looks like they did take 4 tires each. And the 99 of Joshua Butler and the 5 of Aaron Gabron are not on the track, so they did not start this race. Looks like, so we have 15 drivers with us. Earlier we reported 17, but 15 drivers on the track right now. So as the pace car brings them around, past the start finish line, the lights go off on the pace car. Drivers will get doubled up here, and we will be ready to be back to green flag racing. 60 laps total in this race. We'll have 50 to go at the start. John Fershing and Dustin Lee are going to start side by side again. Followed by Jacob Fife, Joshua Buckley, Robert Craze, Jamie Christensen. Once again, those are the guys on older tires, just 5 laps older. Pace car ducks off. Green flag. Side by side, all the way back. Robert Craze in the 4th spot. He's making his name up here. And Joshua Buckley, reigning champion, right next to him. Oh, they're going to go 3 wide, it looks like. 3 wide. Oh, they're getting a little bit crazy. Robert Craze stuck in the middle of those two, between Jacob Fife. I'm sorry, he's between Sean Butler and Joshua Buckley. And Tim Lewis is right behind him. Up ahead of these guys. Oh! Still 3 wide the entire lap. It's a nice wide track, but it still makes you nervous seeing it. Tim Lewis is underneath Robert Craze. Tim Lewis and Craze make contact. Craze moves up the track a little bit, hangs onto it, almost gets into Buckley. It is absolutely wild out there. Leaders are pretty much lined up. But this group back here, man, they are fighting like it's the last 10 laps. Tim Lewis came out on top of that whole group. He now finds himself in the 5th position. And Dustin Lee is your new leader. Joshua Buckley pulls down in front of Robert Craze, and it looks like William Kirk's going to come with him. These guys have almost gotten themselves singled up. That was some intense racing. Side by side for the lead, Dustin Lee and Jacob Fife. Jacob looks at the inside. Oh, Tim Lewis. Oh, they're wrecking in the back. Some cars coming down pit road. The caution does not come out. Wow, that was a lot of cars that got involved in that. Tim Lewis gets back out on the track. Let's go back and see a replay of what happened. It looked like Tim Lewis got loose, and then right behind him, the 87 of Keith Haney, he went up the track and got into, I think it was the 83 of Michael Fair, the 23, I'm sorry, the 23 and the 83 got caught up in that. Michael Fair and Glenn Sidman. Go back live up front. Sean Butler, I missed this, but Sean Butler has now taken the lead. Apologize for missing that pass for the lead there. I was trying to see what happened with that accident. Amazingly, the caution did not come out. They must have kept it pretty straight right up until they went onto the grass. So Sean Butler now pulling away. He's going to have a commanding lead here pretty soon. And Jacob Fife and Dustin Lee are battling for second. I see Dustin Lee wobble a little bit coming out of turn 2. That's going to give Jacob Fife a little bit of an advantage. Not quite sure what's the better lane to be here, inside or outside. Both of them seem to be working pretty well. And as those guys battle for second, Sean just keeps pulling further and further away, and That is a driver you do not want to give too much ground to, because it's hard to make ground back up on him. And too wide right behind Kirk. See John Furshing on the inside, and he's getting passed by Joshua Buckley. See Michael Fair down there. He does a good job getting out of the way and letting these leaders pass. Unfortunate for him to get caught up in that mess, but hopefully we'll get it all collected here pretty soon, and he'll get back up in there. A couple drivers. Dustin Lee getting his name back up in there. He's going to look to the inside, coming down the back stretch. Don't think he has the momentum, though. That's going to allow Joshua Buckley to move up on his outside, and these guys are now side by side. Whoa, Lee gets a little bit loose. These guys are really driving hard tonight. Lee and Buckley still side by side. These two, of course, were battling for the championship at the end of last season. Buckley ended up coming out ahead just because he had a better average finish for the season. They both had the same number of wins. It was a very, very close run for that championship. And they've definitely picked up some good competition this season as well. We've picked up a lot of good racers in this league. You can see they're taking a little bit of a different line. It looks like Buckley comes out a little bit wider coming out of the turn than Lee does. A lot of ground on this track, so you can try all kinds of different lines and try and get some speed. And back here, side by side, oh, we had James Haney and Tim Lewis. Looked like they were side by side for just a second there. Tim pulled out ahead. And Tim is 10 seconds behind the leader now after that little boggle up we had on, or coming into pit road, where they wrecked and kind of came across the grass. Didn't lose up too much ground. I mean, 10 seconds, yeah, he's not a lot down though, so all he needs is caution to get himself right back up in there. Tim has shown himself to be very fast at this track so far. And let's go back up to our leader. It looks like Jacob Fife is now putting the pressure on Sean Butler. Sean had almost a full second lead on Jacob just about a lap ago, and Fife is right up on him now. Putting the pressure. I like seeing someone that can pressure Sean Butler. I know I could never do it when I was racing against him. Go on board with Jacob. Still keeping the pressure on Sean. Doesn't look like he's going to strike just yet, but he is keeping some pressure on him. Whoa, looks like Sean goes a little wide. He may have scraped the wall there. That gave Jacob the lead. So new leader, Jacob Fife. Let's go back here and look at Sean's point of view. See what happened. Yeah, you see Sean goes up wide and scrapes that wall. And that allowed Jacob Fife to go right past him. Now Sean is the one who has to make up some ground. Now, Sean did stop and get 4 tires on that last pit stop, and Jacob did not. And of course, there were only 5 laps on those tires, so maybe not that big of a difference, but Sean does have a little bit of an advantage here. Further back in the field, we see James Haney and Dustin Phillips racing real close to each other. And Keith Haney, Tim Lewis. I always like when almost every driver has somebody to battle with. That way I know they're having fun out there. Back to the leaders. Jacob Fife still leads. This will be his 5th lap led as he comes around. Sean Butler has led 10 laps. Dustin Lee has led 3. John Fershing has led 9. And it won't be too long, and these guys who didn't pit are going to have to come in and get some fuel. I did not do a fuel run ahead of time, so I'm not sure quite how far they can go, but I want to say it's somewhere in the 45 to 50 lap range before they have to pit. Now keep in mind, some of those laps were under caution, so that could throw that off a little bit too. And that's one good thing about this league is that you get to play those strategies, those pit strategies sometimes. We have some long green flag runs. Almost every race we have a long green flag run, and these guys got to play out their strategy for fuel, tires, and try to get up in front. Makes it a little more exciting for them, and more exciting for us. Sean Butler has collected himself, and he is now pressuring Jacob Fife. So these two offering a really, really great battle for the lead. Oh, Sean looks like he might have a little bit of a run coming down the backstretch. Might not be time just yet to look to the inside, but it ain't going to be long. Look how close he is. Very, very close battling. And here we have a battle for 7th between James Haney and Dustin Phillips. Dustin's one of our newer members. Back up to the front, Jacob Fife, Sean Butler, still duking it out. Just past the halfway point, Sean Butler looks to the inside. Going into turn 3, Sean Butler has the nose ahead, and I think he is going to take the lead away from Jacob Fife. Yes, and he does complete that pass. He passed it with authority, too. Look at that. He's already got about 3 or 4 car lengths ahead of Jacob Fife. Let's go on board with Jacob Fife. I'm sure he was not wanting to see Sean Butler's bumper. But he might have to be looking at that for a little bit. But you know what? He's putting the pressure right back on him. I think there's probably a good amount of draft at this track, with it being such a big track. So I think whoever's in second can get that pole to keep him right up there with the leader. So your top 3 right now: Sean Butler, Jacob Fife, and Joshua Buckley. Looks like Jacob Fife might have a bit of a run. Not quite time yet. So the top 5 all very close together. We have about a 2-second gap between the leader and the 5th place, John Fershing. And then after that, we have quite a ways back, looks about 20 seconds behind the leader, James Haney, Jamie Christensen, and Keith Haney. Those guys, of course, caught up in that unfortunate accident. And Dustin Phillips is pitted. And I think that's just going to be his normal fuel pit. Fuel and tire, looks like, yep, 4 tires, and he's off. So fuel could be a big factor in this if we stay green. And Sean Butler, Jacob Fife both battling really well, but remember, Sean Butler pitted on lap 5, and Jacob did not pit yet. And so not just the tire difference, but the fuel difference as well could play a role. And Sean will, of course, have to pit again for fuel, but he's going to have a little bit of an advantage now. He won't need to get quite so much. And Tim Lewis, he is our first car. I think he's our first car a lap down. Or actually, I'm sorry, William Kirk is our first car 1 lap down. So William Kirk is sitting in the lucky dog position to have a caution more to come out. William will get a wave around and get that lap back. And Sean Butler has extended his lead maybe by a few feet on Jacob Fife. And Joshua Buckley is right behind Jacob, and he's about to strike for that 2nd spot. Look at our race summary so far. After 36 laps, we've had 1 caution, 5 lead changes. Pretty good racing out there. Surprised we didn't get another caution on that one accident, and that did hurt those guys. So I'm sure they're going to be hoping that there's another caution at some point. That is one thing we do in our league. We always just stick to the automatic cautions, just so there's no possibility of favoritism or perceived favoritism. If the iRacing program doesn't throw a caution, then we don't throw one ourselves. Unless there was obviously a major glitch, then we would do it. Josh Buckley still putting the pressure on Jacob Fife. You can see a huge gap now. Sean Butler has half a second interval between himself and Jacob Fife. So it's possible that Jacob's tires are getting down to the end, and Sean's are probably not far behind him. But you get that tire fall off there at the end of the run, sort of really makes a difference. Sean is definitely enjoying an advantage right now. And if Buckley starts battling Fife, that's just going to give Sean an even better advantage. And we are 40 laps in now, coming up on 41. And Fife, Buckley, Lee, and John Fershing, all up in that front group, are going to have to start thinking about pitting. Looks like we do have someone pitting now. I believe that's Dustin Lee. Yep, Dustin Lee coming down pit road. So he's going to go ahead and take his tires and fuel. And look at that. Joshua Buckley makes it around Jacob Fife. Boy, I seem to be missing all the passes on this broadcast. So, yeah, Buckley now in second place. Another very strong driver. And Dustin Lee leaves pit road. He had an 11.3 second pit stop. Very good pit stop. And that was his second pit stop. So Sean Butler has led 21 laps. He has almost locked in that extra point for leading the most laps. And it looks like Sean Butler's coming down pit road now. I knew he was going to have to at some point, and Buckley is still out there, and he has not pitted yet. I'm sure he's going to come down within the next couple of laps. We are down to 18 laps to go. New leader, Joshua Buckley. Whoa, Buckley gets sideways a little bit as he was going past the lap car, John Fershing. Let's go see the replay of this. Actually, it was Fershing who got sideways. I misread that one. Fershing got sideways a little bit there. I still think Buckley might... no, he held on. Never mind. That wasn't Buckley. That was Fershing. Saw two green trucks. One of them went sideways. Called it wrong. Joshua Buckley now coming down pit road. And that will pass the lead off to Keith Haney, I believe. So Keith Haney now leading the race, and he pitted early on, and so he'll have to be pitting here pretty soon. Sean Butler had an 8.2 second pit stop, so he took two tires, and Jacob Fife, he had a 9 second pit stop. However, he is now 2.3 seconds behind Sean Butler, so Sean may end out on top of that deal. On board with Jacob Fife, you can see how far ahead Sean Butler is. But Jacob's a very strong driver, and he might be able to catch back up to him. He has 16 laps to do it if he's going to try. And just ahead of Jacob Fife is the 81 of Nate LaFleur. He is a lap down, so he's going to get out of the way and let Jacob shoot right past him here. Keith Laney gets scored for his lap lead, so he'll probably be pitting here pretty soon. Remember, the drivers each get a bonus point for leading a lap, leading the most laps, qualifying pole, and for finishing 80% of the race, which these drivers have already done, so they'll all get a bonus point for that as well. When 19 points going to the leader, or to the winner of the race, and 3 bonus points for winning the race, bonus points are extremely valuable. And so these drivers will do everything they can to get at least lead a lap. That 1 point is huge. So second place right now is Jamie Christensen, and he has not pitted yet either. He hasn't pitted at all this race. He's the only driver who has not yet pitted. And I don't know if he has some kind of magic fuel in that or what. He's probably going to come down this time or next time around. And there's Sean Butler back here in third, and once these front two pit, then he will be back up in the lead. And there you see Jamie Christensen coming down pit road to get his tires and fuel. He'll have about 13 laps to go when he comes back out. And Keith Haney's staying out there for a few more, enjoying that lead. But that fuel's not going to last forever. Jacob Fife now 2.3 seconds behind Sean Butler. Go on board with Jacob Fife. And you can see Sean Butler up there just a little ways ahead. In turn 3, coming out of turn 3 on the front stretch. So Jacob has a little bit of ground to make up, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him at least pressure Sean before this is all over. Let's see if Keith comes down this time. Oh, and he stays out. So Sean Butler, 4.4 seconds behind Keith Haney. I do not think Keith has enough fuel to make it to the end. But if he does, that will have been one hell of a play. Keith Haney stays out for another one. I don't know, maybe he has some kind of fuel saving strategy going on. I did not catch which lap he last pitted. Unfortunately, I don't have that information available to me. So it's kind of hard to tell if he's just staying out here, just enjoying that lead as long as he can, or if he actually has a strategy going on. We just have to keep our eyes open and see. Sean Butler not far behind him. He's about to pass the lapped car, the number 8 of Jamie Christensen. 9 cars still on the lead lap. And Jamie Christensen is, I believe, in the lucky dog position right now to get a lap back if there were a caution. Keith Haney is still enjoying his lead. He's got 9 laps to go. Let's see if he can hold it out. I think what he's doing is he's just waiting to see if there's a caution. He probably doesn't have enough fuel to make it to the end. He's just waiting for a caution. And that's really about all you can do at this point if you're in his position. Pitting right now pitting early doesn't benefit you at this point. Now with the race whittling down, stay out there, hope for a caution, and get back in line with everybody else. right behind Sean, or right behind Keith Haney is the 83, Glenn Sidman. And then you see Sean Butler is catching up to that pair already. Sean Butler only 1.2 seconds behind Keith. Let's go on board with Sean Butler. You see Keith Haney pitting now. Yep, there he goes. He was just holding off as long as he could. That's about the best thing you can do at that point when you're in that position. So Sean Butler regains the lead. 7 laps to go, and a 2.1 second lead on Jacob Fife. Keep an eye on that interval there and see if Jacob has a shot at catching back up to Sean. A lot of traffic though. See up ahead of Jacob, you can see a couple other cars before he even has a shot at Sean Butler. And with only, well, now 6 to go, about to be 6 to go, probably not going to be able to make it. And not much as far as close battles going. Dustin Lee, he's about a half a second behind John Furshing for that 3rd position. It's about our closest battle we got going on right now. Keith Haney and Robert Craze, they're about a half a second apart from each other for 8th and 9th. And Sean Butler's just sitting pretty, down to 5 to go, so even if there were a caution at this point, the field will lock into its current position. So unless Sean makes a mistake, he has this one wrapped up. And Dustin Lee looked like he was going to pressure Sean Furshing for that 3rd position, but he's now fallen back a full second behind Furshing, and just coming up on 3 to go. I think the field's pretty much locked where it is. You can see Dustin back there behind Furshing. He's going to give it all he's got, though. He's not one to give up. He's going to keep pushing, and you never know. Furshing slips up, gets a little squirrely, might give Dustin just the chance that he needs. Sean Butler enjoying a 2-second lead on the 2nd place car of Jacob Fife. Coming to just a couple laps to go. It's a good feeling, good place to be, but it's also a nerve-wracking feeling because you really, really don't want to mess it up. Yeah, after that first caution, once they got all sorted out, well, they didn't get sorted out real quick. It got a little bit crazy there for a bit. But once they got all sorted out, now it's almost like endurance racing. You just want to take care of your stuff, take care of your tires, get your pit strategy in as good as you can, and just see where you end up. Sometimes these long green flag runs are very difficult. I always found myself enjoying the long green flag runs. I was better on the long runs than I was on a short run. Do a restart and I'd always fall back several positions, and if it stayed green for a long time, I had a good advantage. So I always enjoyed the long runs. Final lap, white flag is out. Sean Butler, 2.5 second lead on Jacob Fife. Third place right now is John Furshing. He's got a 1.7 second lead on Dustin Lee. Field looks like it's pretty much locked where it is. I don't see anybody even coming close to making a pass at this point. Sean Butler wins at Auto Club Speedway. This will be Sean's first win of the season with us. This season, anyhow. He's won several races with us before. He joins Joshua Buckley and Dustin Lee. And the final cars come around. Sean Butler does his victory lap. Let's have a look at the results of the race. Sean Butler, Jacob Fife, John Fershing, Dustin Lee, Joshua Buckley, William Kirk, Keith Haney, Tim Lewis, Robert Craze, Jamie Christensen, James Haney, Dustin Phillips, Michael Fair, Nate LaFleur, Glenn Sidman, and Aaron Gabron and Joshua Butler did not start this race, so even though they show up on the board there, they do not get scored for the race. Sean Butler doing his victory burnout. Well deserved, well deserved. He battled hard. It was a lot of fun watching him and Jacob battle there for a little while. But Sean just ended out on top. Good advantage, good race car driver. Pretty much what we expect out of him. All right, so let's have a talk with Sean Butler. Sean, this is Jeremy Patterson. How you doing today?
Doing great. Only one of these races, man. It's about time.
Yeah, that was. I saw you battling with Fife there for quite a while, man. That looked like a blast.
Oh yeah, that was a lot of fun. That draft block, man? It's just hard to get away from anybody if you can run the same lap times pretty much if you can stay together, and that's what we did. It's just hard to get away from each other, and man, it was good racing for the lead, and I guess I just spent just a little bit less time on pit road on that 2-tire stop with only like 8.5 gallons of fuel, and I guess that got me way out front there.
Yeah, and you guys were on different pit strategies as well, because you pitted early and he did not, so I was kind of watching how that played out. It didn't seem like there were only 5 laps on the first set of tires, so it didn't seem like it made a huge difference, but a lot of fun watching that battle.
Yeah, the only reason I under that caution is because off of 2, I got sideways, and I was afraid I got that right rear a little hot, and I just wanted the freshies on it, and it worked out. Got me right out front real quick, and then I was able to hang out there for a while and then battle with Jacob, and it was overall a great race tonight.
Yeah, that was definitely a good call pitting. I didn't realize you'd slid your tires. I saw a couple guys get sideways. I didn't see you get sideways, but definitely a good call. You don't want to be out there on greasy tires.
Yeah, it was quite scary. I was going for the lead, and I knew it was loose on the boffer full throttle, so I was like half throttle, and it still got loose, so kind of shocked me.
Yeah, it looked crazy loose out there. I heard you guys talking about it beforehand. So anyway, good racing. Congratulations on the win, and I'm glad you could race with us tonight. I know you can't always join us, but we're always glad to see you here when you can. And anybody you want to say hi to?
Yeah, I'll just say last week was a big right now because I should be able to race these all the time. I was just moving from Idaho last week, but just want to give a shout out to Jake for racing me clean, all the guys up front racing clean. It was an awesome battle up there, and you up in the booth doing the broadcasting, and I know you'd rather probably be down here racing with us, but it's great that you're up there broadcasting this live for us.
Absolutely, I enjoy it, and thanks for racing with us. We look forward to seeing you again.
Yep, I'll see you next week.
Jacob Fife brought home a good solid second. Tell us about your race.
Yeah, it was pretty decent there. Yeah, definitely had to feel out the first few laps just to get an idea of how the truck was going to run in traffic. But once you got into the run, it felt a little bit more comfortable, and we had some great battles up towards the front with John in the beginning, and then later in the run with Sean. I think overall, though, he was a little bit better in the longer run, and definitely better getting into the pit stall for sure. He whipped my butt on that part.
Yeah, he did have a good pit stop, and It was a lot of fun watching you guys battle. I was wishing I could see it battle till the end, but like you said, the pit stop kind of separated you guys quite a bit, and after that, he just kind of had to ride it out to the end. But still great racing on your part, man. That was so much fun watching you guys battle back and forth the way you did, and everybody kept it good and clean up there.
Yeah, we kept it pretty clean. It was a little hairy at the beginning. I think we were 3 wide a couple different times, and I'm glad I held my line for one. But I'm glad we kind of had awareness around with everybody tonight, so we were able to have a good race, and I was able to come home with a solid finish.
Yeah, well, good job, congratulations, and anybody you want to say hi to?
No, not really. Actually, take that back. I think my dad's watching tonight, so I'll say hi to him. And just thank you for doing this again. It's been a lot of fun. I enjoy coming out on Monday nights, and I hope to see y'all next week. Or 2 weeks, I think, maybe-ish.
That's right, yeah. Next week we'll be taking the week off, so 2 weeks. And yeah, we're glad to have you. I hope your father enjoyed the show, and we look forward to racing with you again next week.
Awesome. Sounds good, man.
Yes, sir. John Fershing, good podium finish. Tell us about your race.
Oh, thanks, Jeremy. Man, it was a mix of emotions. I'm super stoked. I mean, sit on the pole and lead some laps against these guys. I mean, that's all you can really ask for. But I think I had the speed to run with the top two. I messed up a little bit on my pit stop and lost some ground there that I just couldn't make up. But definitely super happy to be in the top 3.
Yeah, definitely. And it's tough. I was talking about it during the broadcast. It's a little tough in this league. If you do lose a little bit of ground, you can't always rely on cautions to get you back up there, because all these guys race so clean. You really can't rely on that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was pushing for all I was worth there to try to catch Jacob a little bit, and I was nibbling a 10th here and a 10th there, kind of driving over my head, and then I made a mistake and I rubbed the wall a little bit, and Dustin was closing up on me. I'm like, well, I better back it down a little bit here and not give this spot away.
Yeah, well, you guys, all you guys up front, that big pack you guys had, the first half of the race was so much fun to watch. I hated to see you fall back a little bit near the end. I wanted to see more battling, but overall, it looked like a lot of fun, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did.
Yeah, it was awesome. I look forward to it every week, and I just enjoy being here and running with these guys. I think I get a little bit quicker each week because I'm running with such awesome drivers, and it's a great time.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad you enjoy it. Anybody you want to say hi to out there?
Oh, just thank you and Matt. I know he's not here tonight, but thank you guys for putting this on, and just this group of guys. I mean, we have a great time, and like I said, I just look forward to it, and I just want to thank everybody in the league.
Absolutely. We're glad you enjoy it. We look forward to having you with us again, well, not next week, but the week after.
Yep, I look forward to it. Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, well, that's going to about do it for this race. And as we discussed, next week will be an off week for the holidays, so people can spend time with their family and whatnot. And we will return on Monday, December 29th at Iowa Speedway. And that will have a live broadcast. The practice starts at 8 o'clock. The qualifying and broadcast will start at 8:30, and the race should go green around 8:35. And the results from tonight's race will be uploaded to our website, redlightleague.com. You can go there and see schedule, standings, photos, and more. Up at the top right-hand corner of our page, there'll be a link to our YouTube channel and our Facebook page. Don't forget to subscribe and like to those if you use those services. And if you or any driver are watching and would like to join us, log on to iRacing.com, go to the Leagues page, search for Red Light Racing, and apply, and send me a PM, and let me know what you'd like, why you like to join our league, and what you'd like to get out of it. We have a couple more slots open, but for the most part, we're just about filled up. So we'll take in a few more drivers, fill our field just a little bit more, and such a great group of drivers here. So it's a privilege to be in this league. It's a privilege to run this league, and I really enjoy it every week. So we're going to wish you all happy holidays, and look forward to having you with us again here in 2 weeks for our 100 lap race at Iowa. Until then, take care and good night.